oh my god, is he mid. Commander Zhao? More like Commander, how did he get a whole season to himself? Zuko, okay, actually Zuko's pretty good. Long Fang? Who are you guy? Azula is the best villain in all of Avatar. This is Villain Review, and today I'm gonna tell you why. 10 out of 10? Who knows? Well, I know, but you don't know. You gotta watch the video to find out. Also, make sure you stick around until the end of the video to find out who next week's villain is.
Ten wanted Dad to die.
I still think our dad would make a much better Fire Lord than his royal tea-loving kookiness.
One of the best parts about Azula is that the show gives us plenty of flashbacks to help fully understand her backstory and motives. Azula grew up with an older brother, Zuko, and like many before her, a father and mother. The family is definitely complicated, and each parent clearly has their favorite. Zuko, who's a more kind-hearted soul, spends more time with their mother Ursa, while their dad Ozai tends to favor Azula. Zuko gets his mother's love because, duh, that's her kid. But Ozai isn't as loving as his wife, and the only way for Azula to get affection from him is to become the perfect child, soldier, and just member of the Fire Nation. She excels in firebending, far surpassing her brother, and her personality starts to take shape in that spirit of competition and admiration. To Azula, worth is found in perfection. It is found in her father being proud, and there's not really much besides that. Zuko isn't perfect, which means his father isn't proud, and because of that, Azula doesn't really see any worth in her brother. Honestly, I love this origin, and it's so important to the story because it adds so much context to everything Azula does. It feels like a very human and personal origin, and I think that's why I like it. It helps us understand Azula, her actions, and even when she does all of this bad stuff in the series, we always know why. It's a child who's fighting for the love of her parents, and she might know deep down that she chose the wrong parent, but she's in way too deep, and with their mom out of the picture, what choice does she have? She either maintains this personality her dad crafted, or she stops, loses his affection, and then she has nothing. It's simple but incredibly complex. Hell yeah, this is how you do a good motive.
Almost perfect. One hair out of place.
Avatar has some of the best characters you'll find on a kids show, and Azula is no exception. I'm such a big fan of Azula because of just how many facets there are to this character. Sometimes I hate her with every fiber of my cerebral cortex, and sometimes she's pretty cool. She's got some badass lines, some crazy action scenes, and she has some of the best dialogue in the whole series.
She was convinced you were going to come rescue her. Of course, you never came, and she gave up on you.
Talk about a sick burn, because she's a firebender. Get it? She shows that persona of someone who is perfect for the majority of the show, and that's the Azula we spend the most time with, but by the end of the show, we see just how much of a facade that is. She's a scary character, more so than any other villain in Avatar, because yeah, Ozai is powerful, but we don't really spend much time with them. Azula is scary because she's always hunting Aang. We know that at any point, she's going to catch up, and it's going to be a lot of trouble.
Yes, we defeated you for all time. You will never rise from the ashes of your shame and humiliation.
There are so many great Azula moments, and what makes them good is that they're all good for different reasons. Some villains are great, but their scenes are all kind of the same vibe, or they're all good for the same reason, but not Azula. Let's start with these fighting scenes, because whenever Azula is fighting my boy Aang or Zuzu, it's usually gonna be fire. Even her first real fight with Zuko is great, and it shows us just how ruthless she is, trying to shoot lightning at her brother, which would probably kill him. Wait, pause. This is his little sister. Imagine getting punked around like this by her little sister. Zuko, my boy, hit the gym, you're slacking. Next date Zuko goes on, they're gonna be like, oh man, what happened to you? Surely you got mauled by a platypus bear, the Avatar himself, something crazy like that, right? No, my little sister kicked my ass. Hi, look, I know we don't know each other like that, but me personally, wouldn't let that slide. You want to talk great fight scenes? The one on the slides with Aang, it goes crazy. The one in that western looking town, that's insane. It starts off just Azula v Aang v Zuko, but then as more and more people show up, Azula still holds her own. The fight animation is amazing in this fight and so many more in the series. In my opinion, one of the show's greatest strengths. The fight on the drill, that's a classic. The one in the cave where she zaps Aang in Avatar state, one of the most impactful moments in the whole Last Airbender. This is a true Empire Strikes Back moment where the bad guys clean up in season 2. The fight leading up to it is already great, and then we see Aang whip out his trump card, the card we've seen used to get out of every crazy situation he's been in so far. Without hesitation, Azula shoots him down, almost ending him and the Avatar cycle. She has no feelings for Aang or who the Avatar is and what it stands for. She sees a shot and she takes it and almost does irreparable damage to the world as a result. Let's talk Azula scenes where she's interacting with other characters, because she somehow manages to be intimidating, manipulative, and sometimes even kind of funny. The mind games are crazy. Azula flexes her power constantly, and while she might not always directly threaten, she often does it subtly. The thing with Azula is that she always owns the screen when she's around. Characters revolve around her. There aren't Aang scenes with Azula, there are Azula scenes with Aang. Truly a powerful and dominant character in both presence and power. Oh, you thought I forgot about one of the best scenes in all of animation, in all of television. Let's talk Agni Kai. This scene is perfect. Everything about it, the animation, the acting, the music, it's perfect. It's the culmination of these two fantastic characters, and it's just so beautiful because it's a moment where each character gets what they deserve and how every action they've had in the show builds to this moment. Azula has power. She has the title of Fire Lord, something she's always wanted. But she's alone. She lost her mom, fell out of grace with her dad, but you see just how destroyed and unstable she is. It's fantastic. And then you have Zuko, who took a different path, and look at how good he turned out. Honestly, I'm not going to say a whole lot more because I want to make a separate video talking about it. It's that good of a scene.
Fire Nation has conquered Ba Sing Se.
I betrayed Uncle.
No, he betrayed you.
Another great thing about Azula is that she has an actual impact on the show. A lot of villains in these kids shows don't actually make a lasting impact and usually just show up, get foiled, and then leave. But again, not Azula. I already mentioned it, but zapping Aang out of the Avatar state is crazy. But there's a lot more than that. The manipulation, good lord, it happens a lot. She guilt/threatens Ty Lee, who is her friend, into joining her by setting her safety net on fire during a circus performance. She starts roasting Sokka and his relationship to stall for time, saving her dad in the process, and then we get Zuko. F's in the chat for Zuko, because that guy has it tough. She lies, manipulates, beats the crap out of him on multiple occasions. And again, little sister! Little sister! There's no reasoning with her, there's no appealing to her humanity or emotions. There's only dealing with and surviving Azula, and I love that dynamic for a villain.
Ty Lee.
Well, what choice do I have? Trust is for fools. Fear is the only reliable way.
Azula is everything you want in a villain. She has a good motive and background. Her personality is intimidating but entertaining, and she has some fantastic scenes. She is an evil person who does some really bad stuff to our heroes, but we always know why. We see the events that transpired in her past, in her childhood, that make her the person we see, the horrible villain we see in the show. Her relationship with her family is interesting and complex, and it makes Azula a very good villain. It shows that not all good villains have to have a motive and background that is sympathetic. Sometimes you just have to understand it, and that's just as interesting. She's a perfect counter to Zuko as a character because she kind of represents everything that Zuko wants. She has the respect of her kingdom, of their dad, and that's not as valuable as having good personable relationships with people. The kind of relationship that Zuko has the whole entire show with Iroh, but he doesn't realize he wants that. In his mind, he wants what Azula has, and Azula, I think, wants what Zuko has. They play so good off each other. They're fantastic characters, both of them. I'm going to give Azula a 9.
Zuko!
Thanks again for watching. I make a new villain review every single Monday. Make sure you subscribe because you don't want to miss a single one. Let me know what you think of Azula in the comments below, who I should review next. This is the video. Cool, thanks, bye, all that like stuff.